Hi, everyone. It's your favorite hostess, Gilda. Welcome back, and thank you for joining our Salesforce Digital Marketing Partner Coffee Chat. This is our second episode in a series of LinkedIn Live coffee chats to discuss all things digital marketing with our partners. We are always looking for ways to support our partners and to provide opportunities to reach customers and, most importantly, drive demands. So this past April, we launched the digital marketing program, and our partners are raving about it. Within this program, our partners can quickly improve their digital marketing skills and align to Salesforce key themes. With that, we are incredibly excited to host my new best friend, Jordan Castle. Jordan is Director of Marketing at Atrium. She is a Salesforce partner, market leader focused on analytics, AI, and machine learning. At Atrium, she sets the creative strategy to support go-to-market initiatives, and she oversees the brand vision. Now, before joining the team, Jordan spent several years in Salesforce ecosystem. She led content marketing and creative teams. She's an avid storyteller. She also received her MFA in poetry from Hunter College in New York City. Welcome, Jordan.
Thank you for having me, Gilda. I'm super excited to be here and talk about all things paid advertising.
So am I. But before we get started, I have a fun question I want to throw your way. I mean, I know you use social media, and so do I. I have my favorite social media channel, but I'm going to keep that a secret because I want to know, what is your favorite social media channel and why?
That is a good question. I would say for this group, it's an easy one. I think something like 94% of marketers are advertising on LinkedIn, and it makes sense because that's where I love to be. That's where it's all happening. And I would say it's my favorite as a consumer of information, and it's my favorite as a marketer by far. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also a big fan of LinkedIn. I find myself literally getting up around 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm on LinkedIn, searching, liking, tweeting, looking at articles, reading thought leadership pieces. So I must agree with you. LinkedIn is my go-to place as well. Um, but let me ask you a question. I want to dig in a little bit more about that. So, how would you increase the visibility of your practice? I mean, do you use paid social in your overall marketing strategy? And if so, how?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I've loved LinkedIn for a long time. And I would say that, especially with the pandemic, more and more
Yeah.
people have turned to LinkedIn. LinkedIn has offered more than ever before in terms of sponsored content, text ads. It has changed considerably. And so at Atrium, the company was founded in 2018. So while we're a new company, like lots of people at Atrium have been in the Salesforce ecosystem for years, and they've been in the industry for years. So LinkedIn is not new. I think what we're doing with it which is exciting. We're a great Salesforce partner. I love those relationships. But LinkedIn is a really important place to engage with new people who might not know about you, people you want to keep top of mind for new kinds of projects, partners, people who are job hunting. So I would say our paid strategy is on the newer side, which is really exciting. It's a good time to be coming in and doing this more direct marketing. So I would say, we're running a webinar. Maybe we have two kinds of LinkedIn ads, different kinds of creative that we're showing and testing out. So that's one good example of how we're using it. But I would say we're using it, on the B2B marketing side, but also to try and, get job candidates who are excited about what we're doing.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, speaking of testing, look where we're at now. We're on LinkedIn Live, right? Which is, a feature that I don't think either one of us thought this was going to exist when we both started out using LinkedIn. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, definitely. I think it's so funny because I really like this. I love this form of engagement. And it's not that it replaces the in-person, but I think it does augment it in this really interesting way that you can have more interactive, real experiences in an online place than I think was intended. And that's a really good thing for the future of hybrid experiences.
I would definitely agree that this, to me, is what our future will look like. I think, the pandemic definitely forced us to use things that we normally would not do. Like, let's think outside the norms of meeting in person. So what would you think, like when it comes to data, how do you use data to target different audiences, particularly in paid social? And I want to tie a little bit of that back to, your first comment around LinkedIn being your go-to social media platform.
Yeah.
So how is data used to target your audiences?
Yeah, well, so I want to start with I was talking to my husband about this last night as I was preparing to do this and thinking, how do I want to talk about data? And I look at data, and you can laugh, this is a real metaphor I'm going to use, but I look at data as kind of a house party. Let's say first party data, that's me. I'm the first in the room. It is my data, my company's data that I'm bringing to the party.
Mhm.
Second party data, they're the second to show up. They bring their first party data to the party. And then third party data, let's say that's information you're getting through a data aggregator that helps enrich that first and second party data. So that's a lot of different types of data, and it can all play together really nicely if you have the right tools. I think knowing people's intent is really important. We have such a thing as an ideal customer profile today, and that's great. We might know who we're going after, but
Mhm.
but digging deeper, knowing who's actually in market to buy is that next step. So I would say in thinking about the way we use data to target people on LinkedIn, like how that's interesting to me, is knowing that we can drill down into different personas, find individual people at individual companies in a way we just didn't in the past. You had to guess somewhat blindly, or you had to base what you were selling, how you were selling, only on past data. And now we can really predict the future a bit more.
And I know, in the digital space, we always say content is king. And my thing is, yeah, content is king, but, data is queen. And we all know the queen's rose anyways, right? So to me, it's just, the analogy that you use, the data is important. It is a key metric in your programmatic advertising and paid social content, correct?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I love that. Honestly, as someone who's kind of relearning how to play chess, I really love this in particular. Yeah.
So let's talk about that programmatic advertising. What would you say are some of the benefits of programmatic advertising as it relates to buying social media advertising?
Yeah. So I think anytime we use the word programmatic, it's a
Mhm.
version of saying something is automatic, right? But I think what I
Mhm.
love about this, the idea of a programmatic approach or programmatic advertising, is that you're still inviting in personalization. It is a self-service model. You're getting to put in these parameters and say, here's how much I want to spend, here's who I'm going after. So I would say it's a more formulaic, interactive way of advertising that helps you make a more cost-effective approach, target the right people, waste less time, waste less money than if you were just kind of making a bid on an ad in the old days. I think it's something interesting too, thinking about the interactivity of that. If I'm on LinkedIn and I'm setting up my ad parameters, I'm thinking about people engaging with the ad. I'm not just thinking about sending an image out into the void and hoping people respond to it. With programmatic, you're seeing live, you
Right.
can change your cycles halfway through. If something's not working, I'm not seeing the conversions, we can change our tactics, change our messaging. So that's a roundabout way of thinking programmatic as a whole worldly approach to advertising as we know it today.
And I almost want to, I think I also heard you say, there's also the notion sometimes in digital space when you set, you forget, right? But it
Yeah.
sounds like it's something that, it's something that, we've been told to do. You set it, you forget it, you move on to the next. But I don't believe that that's 100% true when it comes to, programmatic advertising. It's not set and forget, right?
Yeah, honestly, I think that's the most important thing, especially for companies that don't have a big budget or maybe they don't have a team dedicated to this kind of thing. I know I don't, and that means that we can be very creative, we can be very scrappy, but we have to see where the dollars are being spent. So I think if I'm running two types of creative for one ad campaign, let's say I want people to convert on a landing page or something. If I'm seeing that one's performing really well, maybe I want to shut the other one off. Maybe I want a version of the thing that's performing well. Or maybe my goals aren't right. Maybe it's really more awareness and less conversions. I like the idea that you can test it in real time, which also means that if you see you're going down the wrong path, you don't have to, watch yourself essentially waste money as the days count down on this ad that you set up, you know.
Right, exactly. And you brought something up as well, small teams, and budget. So I'm brand new to programmatic advertising. I'm running a small team with no budget. What advice would you give to an individual in that position?
God, that's such a good
Throwing it
question.
at you. I'm throwing it at you, Jordan.
Yeah, I love that actually, because I think it's probably the most important question we have today, especially as people are, I think we might have talked about it when we met about planning and how frequently we should do it. And I'm not really going off topic. I will rein us back in. But thinking about how you need to change your approach to marketing, perhaps on a quarterly basis, think about what the last year looked like and how many people planned for 2020 that just didn't happen,
Right.
where we really had to pivot well. Ads are the same way. And I think here, knowing exactly who you're targeting, not everybody loves the term data mining. I personally love it when I'm thinking about my own data that I own that belongs to me, thinking about mining it for gold, right? For finding insights that are there readily available for you to see who are the kind of people that we've had success with in the past. What kinds of services could we be giving them? Are there cross-sell opportunities, upsell opportunities? Who are those people already? And can I predict the future? Can I think about more people like them and where I might reach them? What are their job titles? So thinking about knowing exactly the customer that you're going after and starting right there. If you have a small budget, if you only have, one ad that you can run, I think that's a really good way to not waste money and not waste time. It's just to play a little bit on a small scale and think if this works, we can repeat it. Great. And if it doesn't, you try something else and hopefully you won't have spent a lot of money.
Right. And I like that, it's really the test and learn model, right? Where you start off small, like you said, it could be one ad that you're testing, but you're testing and you continue to learn as you go along, but you don't want to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, and then you're trying to figure out what worked, what didn't work. Start off small, continue testing, continue improving. Which brings me to my next question. What does brand safety look like for you within your paid social channels?
That's such a good question.
It
I'm sitting
is.
here
Save
about
me
all of these.
goosebumps, Jordan.
Yeah. I really love it, I think, because brand safety, it means something a little bit different to everybody. But, for starters, it means not advertising to robots, not serving up ads that people can't see, and not having your ads appear on really dark corners of the internet or in places that don't align with your business values or your customers' values, let's say. So I think that's a good overview of what brand safety means or why it matters, and that's also another way of wasting money, not only possibly hurting your reputation, but if you're showing up in places that are irrelevant at best and dangerous at worst, you're also wasting money and time by not advertising to the right people. So you're losing out on a chance at great ROI that way. And I think for me, brand safety, thinking about who we are as a business, what we value, and what the people we serve value. That's our team and our customers and our partners for sure. Just setting up some guidelines to say what matters most to me. What am I not willing to serve up? What messaging doesn't really work for us, and where would I not want to appear? And I think programmatic is a really good way to make sure that brand safety is being upheld, really, to say, here's where I want to appear. I think that's the other way, to kind of say, go into the light, think about where you want to show up and avoid where you don't want to show up. Yeah, that's my broad look at brand safety.
But I think, like you said, customer value, brand value are two important key components to building out this programmatic advertising, right? And it will make sure that you adhere to both when you build your overall strategy around those two key components.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was just going to throw something else at you. Just one final thought from you is, you know, just in one word, programmatic advertising. What does that mean to you?
Oh, in one word.
One word. I know we did not prep for that,
Well,
but
I have it. I have my one word. Efficient. It's not a sexy word exactly, but I think efficient is exactly right without giving more words. Efficient.
Tell me more. Why is programmatic advertising efficient?
Yeah. Well, I think programmatic is, it's a cost-effective approach. It helps you personalize. It is a way of self-service that puts you in the driver's seat, but also takes a lot of the guesswork out. And not too many things do that. I think not too many things give you control without being a liability at the same time. I think programmatic is a way of doing, calculated risk, getting to try new things without worrying that you're going to go off the rails or spend money you didn't intend to. Because ideally, you should be checking in on what you're doing periodically. If it's LinkedIn, I can go in live and see these real-time effects. And if it's not working, I stop. If something great is happening, I can drill into that and really see what kinds of conversions I'm getting, why this matters to me. And hopefully you struck gold and you can do it again.
And it goes back to the test and learn, right? We always have to keep that in mind, that we don't programmatic, I think you said it earlier, does mean automatic, but it doesn't also necessarily mean you set and you forget. We're constantly learning, right, in order for it to be a little bit more efficient. But it goes back to your overall goals and objectives and your company values.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I knew I'd catch you with that last one, but you were on top of it, Jordan. You were on top of it.
I try. It's the words. It's all poetry, really. All of marketing is poetry. And I was prepared for that. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to have to start using that. All of marketing is a poetry, and you're absolutely right. I want to thank you for coming on and really speaking about programmatic advertising and paid social content. Any final thoughts for our audience today?
Oh, there's so many. I appreciate digital marketing as an initiative, not just a practice, but as something we do every day, something that we can value, because there's a reason we're still calling it digital marketing, but it's just marketing. Where it happens now, it is all digital. That engagement is real. It is online. It's happening right here and right now. So I think just, you all highlighting this is really meaningful, and it's exciting to be part of that. Yeah.
Oh, I completely agree. And I love the fact that, I think for me, I always say digital marketing, but you're absolutely right. It's just marketing. It's because everything is digital now, right?
Yeah.
We're on LinkedIn Live. So everything is digital. We're just in marketing, making it, we're turning marketing into poetry.
Yes, we are always turning marketing into poetry. We make magic happen. I like it. It's really hard work in the background, but it looks like magic, which I love.
I know we make it look so easy, but it is not easy. Not at all. So I want to thank everyone for attending and for joining us on our second episode. Our last episode will be airing next Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. If you missed our first episode, don't worry, you could check it out on our Salesforce Partners YouTube channel. Until then, please be sure to check out our digital marketing services offering. It's a new partner program benefit, which provides you with the set of digital marketing materials, including social, to bring your marketing to life. And as Jordan mentioned, marketing is poetry. So we provide you with a starter copy and connect you with a creative agency to help you refine it, all through our online campaign builder. So apply today by visiting the Digital Program Partner Community page. I'm Gilda Hilaire. You guys will see me again next week. Jordan, thanks again for coming. Really appreciate all the great advice that you gave to our viewers. I walked away with some great pointers. I'm no longer going to say digital marketing. I'm going to say marketing because everything is digital. And going forward, I am going to look at data in a whole different way.
Love it. It's all poetry. You are a poet. Thank you for having me.
Any final thoughts that you want to say before we go?
I think just, well, to new people to this, programmatic sounds scary, and I would say it doesn't have to be. That if you're doing something you feel like it's not working, it is never too late to change course. And I do think things like partner marketing centers popping up everywhere is hugely useful, and more partners should take advantage of those kinds of things. All these ready to go assets are really helpful, especially for lean teams. I will leave us with that.
Oh, and I love what you said again, the ready to go assets, personally for me, extremely important, especially if you are a partner and you're new to the community, or as we mentioned earlier, is that there are a lot of partners that are part of small teams, right? That are coming into the space not really knowing what programmatic advertising or paid social means. So I think when we when we offer these services, right, to me, it's a breath of fresh air because you no longer feel like you're isolated, or you no longer, you're struggling, to find resources when, all of these amazing resources are right at your fingertips. So definitely check out the digital marketing service offerings. There are so many templates that you can use, and it will definitely bring your marketing to life. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Jordan.
Yeah.